most rewarding part about the Math-On experience is that, pure and simple, it makes math fun. Students enjoy the competitive nature of it, they enjoy the teamwork, and as a teacher, it gives them a chance to shine in an area where they might not otherwise.
Brenda and I felt that we needed to do something more for the kids, to inspire them, to make math fun, to give them that math attitude that was lacking.
Et on a trouvé le 7e jour, c'était 5 et 1 dixième kilomètre.
It sort of brings out like a lot more fun in math than just sitting down and doing some math from like a textbook.
It's for all kids, because all kids can do math. It's not something just for the professors and scientists and doctors of the world. It's for everyone.
What it does in the junior high, where you have so many different levels of students within one classroom, it really is one of the few events where you have everyone involved in one event.
I like the competition, like trying to get in first with the most answers correct.
What is the least number of scoops that you could make in order to get 4 cups?
The competition is set up so it's teams of 2, you and your partner, and you have to go through 5 questions. And as a team, you answer the questions and work through them. So it's kind of different than normal math, where on a math test or a math exam, you're by yourself and you have to figure it out. And if you don't know how to do it, then you're kind of up the creek without a paddle.
You have different, more abstract questions, which you actually have to figure out instead of just taking numbers and plugging them into a formula.
One student will get so far with an idea, and then their partner will take that idea and run with it a bit, and then it'll, come back to the other person too. So they really do work together.
That's 73 minutes.
It would be 11:43.
So that would be 26. No, 24.
Yeah, 24, 48, what's another 24?
Only 7 on each.
Because with math, teamwork isn't, like, in a normal sense, isn't usually something one might associate with it, but in this Math-On situation, you're working with your partner, you're working as a school, as a team to do your placement and whatnot. So I mean, it definitely adds that kind of extra dimension that wouldn't necessarily be present in math, and it's kind of valuable in that way.
If they pass in an answer and it's wrong, the response is to try again, and they're quite eager to do that usually. So I mean, they like the feedback immediately. Okay, I didn't get that, so now we're going to try something else and see if we can solve this problem. The actual amount of preparation involved in running the class is about the same as any real lesson. I like to have them set up with checkers and an answer key, and be given a separate question each time they advance on. But it can be quite simple.
It's a classroom activity. It's not just a big competition that you would hold in the gym or at a regional where a lot of schools come together. It's something that we can do in the classroom as teachers. We can do it in a half-hour span of time.
Because of the structure of Math-On, we are actually living a 3-part lesson. The setup, organizing, putting the students into groups and that's part 1. Part 2 is when they problem solve, the teacher lets go, they get to work and they solve their problems. They get to discuss with each other and share strategies. But the most important part of a 3-part lesson, which often gets neglected through no fault of the teacher, it's the 3rd part, when students get to tell how they solve the problem, so that other students, whether they're strong students or struggling students or anybody in the class, gets to hear how someone else solved a particular problem. That's the rich part of a 3-part lesson.
And what do the dots represent?
Trees, spaces, trees.
Okay, are they the trees or are they the spaces?
The spaces.
Oh, they're the spaces between the trees, okay.
So we kept adding these until we couldn't use those anymore.
Okay.
And I think we got to 3. Yeah, we got to 3 before.
But there are no 23 a.m., so I had to turn it into a.m. I got 1173. I subtracted 60 because there's no 73.
We spend a lot of time selecting and creating questions that are just right, questions that can be solved in a lot of different ways. So we're not just hitting one type of learner.
In terms of I think attitude and I think with that confidence. So when we've done math-on, sort of taught the structure and so did it regularly in our schedule. But then if in terms of other kinds of problem solving, working through the textbook or just a problem that I've presented to the class, there's a lot more. There is less groaning, but I think generally because there's a greater feeling among the kids that they can do this, sort of greater sense of capacity, greater confidence.
I'm in classrooms sometimes where students are really not feeling confident about their math. And some of them, when they're perhaps in grade 5 or grade 6, have had many years of not feeling good about themselves as math learners. And when you've had 4 or 5 years of proof that you're not successful, it's really hard to show enthusiasm and to engage in activities. Sometimes it's just not cool to like anything. We're not just talking about math. It's not cool to be very positive because they're looking around to make sure, am I allowed to like this? But in a math-on, they forget that and the enthusiasm takes over. And then they look around and they see that enthusiasm mirrored.
Doing math-on in the classroom definitely increases the engagement of students when it comes to explaining how they've solved problems, because you do have the whole class that's working on the same problems together in this slightly competitive atmosphere. Those that have solved a problem successfully are eager to share their solutions, and those that got a little frustrated and perhaps weren't able to solve the problem are very keen to hear and see exactly how another student was able to come up with the correct solution to a problem.
Like mine is 36 by 24, which is 12.
I have 2 boys that have been involved with the Math-On program, and for both of them I think that it was a worthwhile opportunity. I think that they learned a lot more about math and problem solving and working as a team when they were involved both in the practice sessions and then in the competitions themselves. They seemed to have a good time when they were doing it.
Being involved with Math-On from an early stage was definitely beneficial. It definitely gave you kind of more of excitement towards math and like more of a it kind of made you more like willing to do math. It made math more fun really than you might think just in a classroom would be.
It has created a coolness to mathematics. It has made mathematics cool as being a basketball star, you're cool, or being a soccer star, you're cool. These math Olympians all of a sudden are not nerds anymore, they're cool.
There's all kinds of sporting events that are available in school, athletic events for kids and all kinds of those sorts of activities. But I think this is a great opportunity for kids to be involved in something where it's an activity for their brain.
It sort of brings out like a lot more fun in math than just sitting down and doing some math from like a textbook or something, and I would suggest it to a lot of other kids.
They ask for it when I come into the school. They say, when are we going to do Math-On again?
I asked my math teacher, Miss Angelopoulos, if I can get involved with it and volunteer, and she said yes. Hopefully in the future I could be a leader to lead this.
When you hear kids being excited about this, you know you're doing something right. And any teacher can do it. That's the key. It's not a difficult thing to do. And it's fun.